Hey everyone, I'm Brian Parks. I used to think certifications were a racket, and in this video we're going to talk about whether I've changed my tune, or, and if I have, why. So I used to think certifications were a racket, and the reason that I thought that was basically um, every single one of them you have to pay money, you have to take a test, and then you get some, either a piece of paper or a badge or something like that that indicates that, well, you took a test. You learned some information, and then you took a test and you passed. Now, the problem that I have with that is that a lot of times these certifications, most of the time, these certifications are uh, put together by the companies that built the software or built the platforms, built the technology that you're learning about, that you're getting certified in. And that feels kind of like a conflict of interest to me. The other reason is that because of the way a lot of this knowledge is shared and tested, I wonder about the degree to which the people who actually have the certifications actually have the practical knowledge. Now, this is not a blanket statement. There are definitely plenty of more than qualified people who have these certifications who are actively putting to use the stuff they've learned on a day-to-day basis, absolutely qualified to do it, absolutely qualified to have the certification, um, and absolutely I would pay them money to do the thing that they have the certification in. So don't feel like I'm saying that anyone who has a certification is lying or anything like that. That is absolutely not the case. But what I do wonder about is if the certification is the only criteria that we should be looking for when we're looking for someone who has experience in a particular area, or more specifically, if we should ignore a candidate who's used the technology for several years just because they don't have a certification. I think that's where certifications kind of get into trouble. So for my part, for a long time, I did not have any certifications. Back in college, I was involved in a program with Sun Microsystems that allowed me to sit for some of these tests for free. Ultimately, I didn't take advantage of it because I ran out of time. Though, if I didn't run out of time, I definitely would have sat for those tests and gotten those certifications. You know, Now looking back, I don't know how much value those certifications would have had because that was shortly before Sun was acquired by Oracle, and the value of those certifications, at least for me, in what I went on to do, was probably limited. Uh, my last job, they had certifications available for people who use their platform, and they made it available to their employees to take the tests for free and get the certifications. So I did get a couple certifications that I was qualified for. I took advantage of that. So I do have some certifications now. And I have recently looked at other certifications. So I do a lot of stuff with AWS, and I started doing some stuff with Azure. So I looked at the AWS certifications. They have 9 or 10, I think, maybe more than that. And then Azure has a whole mess of certifications. Microsoft has long had certifications for various things. So I have thought about doing some of those certifications, but ultimately what it comes down to is I'd much rather spend my time building software and showing that I can actually put it into practice, and putting stuff on my GitHub page, than getting the certification. Now, again, that's not to devalue people who have the certification or have gotten the certifications. I totally think there is value in certifications, and it's definitely another thing that you can put on your resume, that you can put on your LinkedIn profile and say, yes, I not only have I done this, but I have gotten certified in this. So even Amazon and Microsoft, they trust me with what I'm doing. So I definitely think there's value in having those certifications. But I don't think it's not the end all be all. It's not the only thing in the world. Definitely having that hands-on practical knowledge is paramount, and it's not just sufficient just to have the certification. You really should have that experience too. And I think you'll feel more comfortable if you go into a job that, say, is looking for that sort of certification. Yes, you have the certification, but you'll find it easier to carry out that job. You'll have a better time. You'll enjoy it more. You'll impress your managers and your teammates more by actually knowing your stuff and being able to apply it. And it's not just enough just to have that certification, right? So that's kind of my thoughts on the on the topic. I think in some cases, yes, maybe they are still a racket, but they're not. It's not all a racket. They're not. I can't make that blanket statement that all certifications are a racket. Definitely, people make money off of doing certifications, and there is an industry dedicated to tutoring and teaching and helping people prepare for those certifications. So it's a great, economically, there's value in those certifications on both sides, right? Teaching and in having them. So I think that's good. But if you're evaluating a certification, definitely evaluate it from the perspective of, do I need this certification? Is it worth it to, take the time to learn the details and learn how they're going to ask questions just to get the certification? Or is it enough in my field to use it on a daily basis and be able to demonstrate that I've used it on a daily basis? And depending on where you are, who you are, and what certification you're looking at, the answer might be different. So I don't think there's a clear-cut answer to say all certifications are bad or all certifications are awesome. I think some are more valuable than others, and it really comes down to an individual decision. So I hope this was helpful, and if it was, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button, like the video. Share this video with friends, colleagues, if they're looking at taking certifications or if they're wondering what the value of certifications are. Hopefully some of the thoughts that I shared are useful to you. And if you like this video, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Most weeks I try to do one video like this, kind of more conceptual, career strategy sort of things, and the other video I try to do a technical one. So if you're looking for technical videos, I have a ton of videos where I actually write some code, install some software, play around with it. Go ahead and check that out. And be sure to subscribe and click that notification bell so you'll be notified when the next video gets released. Thanks for watching. Have a great week.